following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
What a beautiful day in Nashua today. My guest today is the director of the Senior Center, Jeanne Marcoux. Welcome, Jeanne, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me, Mike.
I hope we can cover a lot of topics here. I was on your website, and you did send me an outline, so I guess maybe we'd probably like to talk about the history of the Senior Center, when it started and how long it's been, and what's transpired over the years.
So the Senior Center actually has been open for 35 years. The Senior Center was first started in 1978. When Morris Arell asked a group of JCs to take it on as a community project. So the JCs took the Senior Center on, and in 1978, 4 of the JCs were the first incorporators of the Senior Center, and it opened, and it was on 221 Main Street, which is for people who've lived in Nashua a long time, the old Montgomery Ward building. Mm-hmm. Sometime later, probably early 80s, there was a fire, and the Senior Center burned down. And then there was a community campaign to build a new Senior Center. And so in 1983, I believe, the first Senior Center opened up on 70 Temple Street. And it was a small, it was a brick building that was 1 level. And it was there for a very long time. In I want to say 2005, there was another capital campaign. Membership had increased. Seniors needed a larger space. And so in collaboration with HUD, Southern New Hampshire Services, and the city, a deal was worked out, and the new construction at 70 Temple Street took place. And the Senior Center is one half of the building, and the other half is housing. Mm-hmm. It's called Street Ashores. Yes. That's 43 apartments.
Oh, nice. And so how many members do you have right now?
Right now we have probably about 1,800 members. Wow. It fluctuates, but we have 800 members, but we have a lot of people who come to the Senior Center who are not members. Right.
And do you have to be a resident of Nashua to belong to the Senior Center?
Or no, you don't.
Oh, so you can, is there a geographical base where they come, or is it just people who are basically close to the Senior Center?
So for years, Nashua was the only Senior Center around. So we have always accepted people from the kind of the 11 towns surrounding Nashua, all the way from Milford, Hudson. Now over time, other communities have opened up Senior Centers. And so about 90% of our members right now are Nashua residents, but we still do have people who come from other communities, and you don't have to be a Nashua resident to belong.
And what's the, at what age can you become a member?
You can become a member at 50.
Really? It's the same time when you can get the AARP? That's
exactly. I think that age was chosen to align with AARP.
When I turned 50, all of a sudden I became a member because one of my friends signed me up, and I go, what is this for? Well, you're old enough now. So there are some advantages to being over 50. Apparently one is the Senior Center. So.
Yeah, however, the average age of our members is probably closer to 70, and that's pretty much a national statistic.
Right. And what is the cost to be a member?
It costs $35 a year for single membership. It costs $50 a year for 2 people living in the same residence.
Okay. And whether they're married or not? Or?
Whether they're married. So it could be 2 sisters.
Okay.
So as long as they're living in the same residence. And then there's a $5 discount for veterans.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. I'm always pleased to hear things that help the veterans out and something like that. Tell me about interest in your senior council. Tell me about that.
You know something? When I first went to the Senior Center, I really wanted to make sure that the members and staff, that we all were aligned and working in the same, and working and doing the same things. So I actually developed a senior council, and I asked seniors to make a commitment of 1 to 2 years and sit with me, and I actually meet with them monthly, and basically their role is to become the ambassadors for the Senior Center, but they also are the liaison to the members and me, and also, so I keep them very well informed in terms of budgetary issues, what's going on. We do a lot of rumor control, and they are very, very helpful when it comes to fundraising. And it seems like almost every single major fundraiser, there are 3 or 4 or 5 members from the Senior Council who are very actively involved. So it's great.
And how many members on the council?
Right now we have 15 members on the council.
Members. Oh, you must need a big conference table.
Yeah, well, we have a big education room that we meet in.
You offer a lot of programs.
We do.
I was really impressed with what you offer. You know,
and I hope you don't ask me to memorize
No.
every single one.
No.
Because they change.
I do have a list, but
They change. We have things that are ongoing, but we have lots of things that change.
I'd like to know about some of the programs that you do have. Let's go right to health screening, because I think that's probably a big issue for people our age. You know, who I am a senior, and you know, and what the Senior Center offers in that area.
So part of our mission statement is to encourage people to take care of themselves, and we encourage healthy aging. So we like to provide programs. So that's where kind of aerobics, exercise programs come in. But we also have been taking it one step further by doing some health screenings. We are actually working on a collaboration with Revere University and the nurse practitioner students. I'm pretty excited about that because they've come into the center, and what they do is they come in and they do a number of screening exams. They do cholesterols and peripheral vascular screening, and they do medication reconciliation, which means seniors can bring all of their medications in, and the nurse practitioner students will sit down with them and review their medications to make sure they're taking them correctly, or making sure they're not taking medications that shouldn't be together. We also have Home Health and Hospice holds a foot clinic at the Senior Center by appointment. We also have vision and hearing screening. And then we have a number of other things that throughout the year we're always adding other topics in related to health.
Now, are there costs associated with this for these people to come in to provide these services?
Actually, in terms of, there is a charge for Home Health and Hospice for the foot clinic. There is no charge for the screenings. We have not charged people in the past. And for the vision and screening, those are all for free.
Okay, and fitness programs. I know my wife loves to walk. I hate walking. I never liked walking when I was 5 years old. I don't like it today, but she makes me walk. So tell me about your fitness programs.
Well, we have a lot of fitness programs. We really do. We have aerobics. We have yoga. We have Tai Chi. We have Zumba Gold, which means a little slower pace than Zumba that maybe somebody in their 30s would be doing. We have Pilates. We have, and so other things that aren't considered exercise per se is that we have line dancing and we have tap dancing. So we have lots of things that keep people very active and moving, which I think many people don't realize how much is available at the Senior Center in terms of really active lifestyle. We have a bike club. We have a golf league.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things.
And so are there limits on the number of people who can join these classes, and is it based on first come, first serve?
People sign up now for example, for yoga. We have the classes in 6 week increments. So people sign up and come to the classes, and when we start seeing too many people in a class, we add another class. Or in the wintertime, sometimes the classes fall back. People don't want to go out as much, and so we might not offer as many classes. In aerobics, people can actually drop in, but those classes are really full.
Yeah. And okay, tell me about, what is the Lending Library?
We have this wonderful library, and we have people who were librarians in their careers who actually have it totally organized as it should be. And we have books. People donate books, but we have lots of books. So we actually lend books to people. We have large print books. We have a connection to the library. We also sell books. And so it's a place where people can go. And it's really quite a nice...
Now, do you offer tours for people to come in of the...
We do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anybody that comes in that's interested in becoming a membership, a number of our staff people are always willing to take them on a tour. It's hard to describe all of the programs we have. It's easier while you're touring because you can just show them the rooms, and then you can think of all the things that are in those rooms.
So the viewers should come down to the senior center and
That's
get a
correct.
tour.
That's correct.
There you go. Trying to help out.
And we're always happy to do that. Yeah.
I noticed you. We mentioned before the show that you do fundraising to support what you need. Now, what's your goal every year? How much money do you need to raise to stay afloat? So to speak?
Well, so the city actually owns our building, and so we have an arrangement, and we have a 30-year, $1 a year lease with the city. Beyond what the city does, and that's very helpful, but beyond what the city does for us, we have to raise about $350,000 a year to keep the center open and functioning and running. And we only have 4 employees. So just to heat, we have 23,000 square feet. Just to heat that much space, it costs us about $60,000 a year. So we have to raise that much money. So we do it in a variety of ways. You know, we do it through our thrift shop. You know, we have a thrift shop that is very helpful to us, and we sell clothing that people donate to us. We also rent our rooms. Most all of the rooms at the senior center, we rent them during the time that seniors aren't at the center. People don't realize that. Like, for example, the Granite Statesman, the barbershop chorus, they practice at the senior center. They call that home. Their female counterpart, Voices in Harmony, also uses senior center. There are 2 churches that hold services at the senior center. Plus, we rent out the space for weddings, for bowling banquets, for mercy meals, for showers. So whenever we can pick up some extra revenue by renting the space, it's very helpful to us.
Now, what's the capacity of the space?
We have all different size rooms.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we have rooms that we can hold up to seated. I think one of our larger rooms hold up as many as 400 people.
Really?
But you know, for that round tables, it's different.
Right. So you could do large. People would have weddings there, and that would be a function of one of the larger rooms. So any young children that would like to know what their seniors are doing today, they should go down and look at that place for an economical place to hold their wedding. We do. Like I said, we do lots of different things. We have condo associations rent the education room. It's a perfect conference room for an association to meet in. So it's, you know, and we're always, and our rents are really competitive. In fact, you know, we have nonprofit fees as well, and then we have, you know, different levels of. Right, depending upon what organization is looking to do it. Oh, nice. And I noticed you do fundraisers such as plant sales, and I'm an avid gardener and things like that.
We just had a great plant sale.
Did you?
We did.
Yeah.
We had a very good plant sale, and one of our board members held it at her home, which is beautiful. She's an avid gardener herself, and it was great. It was great.
And I noticed you do discounts on, is it Tuesdays? It will be Tuesdays, is that? Where you?
Well, we have a whole program called Dining for a Cause, and we do it with a number of different restaurants.
Oh,
so we do it with Uno's, and Uno's actually for the whole year, starting in January through December 31st, anytime you go into Uno's on Amherst Street, 20% of your tab will be donated to the senior center. But you do need to bring in a little coupon, or you can call it up on your smartphone if you can. I think you can pull it down off the website, off of our website, and show them, and then they will donate the money to us.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, are you looking to have as many restaurants? How many restaurants do you have? Do you have more than 2, or is it 10? Or?
We actually, we look for restaurants who offer that as part of their community giving programs. So we've done it with Margaritas. We've done it with Ruby Tuesdays. We're doing it with Uno's. I'm trying to think where else we've been. I think we've been at Applebee's. And so many of the restaurants in town do that as a way to give back to the community.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I noticed that non-members can come in, and I know I'm an average beer player, so I could come in And I'm embarrassed, I probably will join after this show to become a member, but you could come in for an extra $1 and participate in some of the games.
That's correct.
Is that true for most of your programs?
We have a lot of programs that non-members come in and pay a slightly higher fee, and but we really try to encourage people to become members. So we've really started adding more services for members only. For example, we opened up a really nice lounge last year called the Coffee Talk Lounge, and it's just really, it looks like, somebody said, it looks like a Starbucks. It's kind of very comfortable. The coffee is served. There are computers in there, and people can go in there. And it's a members-only lounge, so they can kind of go in and rest between classes, or take a magazine and read, get a book and read. And we do, we just received a grant to hold movies and offer 4 times a year. We offer movies and dinner for the first 100 people who sign up, but you have to be a member.
Now, you have a kitchen there? Do you have a full-time chef?
We have a commercial kitchen,
Oh, you do?
yes.
And you have a full-time chef? Or just volunteers?
No, we don't. Actually, we also have partnerships, and we have partners that are in our building that we lease to, which it helps to support the senior center. So, and they're very good partners to have. So Meals on Wheels actually uses our kitchen every day to prepare meals, and they also have on-site dining 5 days a week. And then we also have Service Link, which is in the building. Service Link is a service of Easter seals, but it's an information and referral service for people, for seniors, and also people with disabilities. But I know when I turned 65, you can go in there and ask them anything about anything, and they can tell you whatever you need to know.
Oh.
It's really great.
Yeah.
They can help you choose, supplemental plans. They can tell you what one fits best with whatever medications you take. It's a great service.
So when you do dinners, who cooks the?
We've done different things. One time we had some young people come in and they did some cooking. We ordered pizza one time. We also rent our kitchen. So, for example, Rotary West has a spaghetti, they call Spaghetti City, every October, and they hold that at the senior center, and actually use the whole first floor.
They do. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I notice you have a lot of hobbies. It's just amazing. I'm just amazed at all the things you do. We probably can't cover that all.
Well, I have to tell you, people, people, it's a great surprise to people when they come in and they see so many things happening.
Now, there's Officer Jeanne Constant, the Senior Relations Officer of the MPD. What does she do? What is her role here?
So she comes to the senior center every Wednesday, and she actually goes in and sits down in the dining room and has lunch with people. But it's a great way for her to find out, answer questions about fraud. There's a lot of things that happen to seniors related to fraud, related to people taking advantage of them, and sometimes they can be criminal. And she's able to sit with them and talk to them and actually do programs for them to keep them safe. Wow. And so she's been doing an article on our website now.
Wow.
And she's going to be doing I think she's going to be coming in on Wednesdays to sit in the lounge to chat with people about issues that are important to them.
Oh, that's very nice. The Dowell's, I see Dowell's gives provides piano lessons.
That's right. That's
and
right.
so there's no age limit on learning how to play a piano then, apparently. There isn't.
And we have some great, I don't know, maybe you're going to get to that, but when you talk about music, we have some very musically gifted people at the Senior Center. For years, we've put on an annual variety show. We have a group called the Silver Lining Chorus.
I saw that.
The Silver Lining Chorus actually goes out and does gigs and makes money for the Senior Center. And they're dedicated people. I mean, they go on weekends, they go on Fridays, they go to area nursing homes, they go to schools. Sometimes they've gone downtown and done it for different downtown events. And then we have another group called the Harmonica Saints. And we have people that play harmonicas and the accordion and someone who plays the saw. And they're really very good. And they go out and they go out and do the same types of gigs.
Now, do a lot of the people in the senior center work with veterans a lot? Because that seems to be, I'm very aware of, what the veterans had done for the country. And I know, did you go to the VA at all? Do they do?
No, well, not really. We have a number veterans who are members of the senior center who come in and play pool or play bridge, but in terms of specifically, going out into the places where veterans are, we haven't done that yet.
Okay, because I was thinking a lot of the private organizations, they all provide, Christmas shows for the veterans at the 2 veterans home in Tilton and Manchester.
Well, if the veteran, no, that we would do. If the veterans home, any veterans home was looking for us, then we'd be happy to go and do a show for them. Yeah.
Oh, really? And they pay, so that I think they would pay. I know they have paid in the past for the transportation for some of these people that have come in, to do.
No, we would
shows.
love to do things like that.
Yeah,
they're really great. They love to go everywhere.
So who's Jerry and Jeanne Bluegrass Buddies? Are those?
They were just at the senior center last night, and they're great. They're great. They're absolutely excellent musicians. They play bluegrass music. They have a vocalist. They're there once a month, and quite a few people come in. And I like to work late those nights because they're really great.
Yeah. Well, I used to go many years ago down to Harvard Square past Seams and between the Harvard Coop, and there was a little coffee shop down there where a lot of bluegrass artists would come in, and you'd see them before they became famous, and it was very. I love bluegrass. There's I think quite a lot of people who love that type of music, So.
Oh, there are.
And
yeah.
it's so funny how everything becomes cyclical. The music, rock and roll today. Back in the '50s, our parents didn't really like it. They thought it was horrible. But now they play that in elevators and everywhere. So we've come.
Well, I remember when country wasn't something that everybody liked to listen to.
Yes. Yeah.
And now country's so mainstream. It's great.
It is. And so that's American music. So. Let's talk about your trips. I notice you have single-day trips, and I notice there's Circus du Soleil coming up on June 27th. Are those fully booked at this point, probably?
Cirque du Soleil probably is, but you can always call into the senior center, and we always develop waiting lists. But we have numerous trips.
Yep. I know I have a list of
okay.
Here, like 42nd Street,
right.
Inner Lakes, and the Boston Symphony Orchestra. That would be at Tanglewood. I'm sure that's probably fully booked.
We have Josh Groban coming up on August 30th.
Oh.
Oh my God, there's so much going on.
He just released a new album.
Oh, he's so, and I'm sure the Josh Groban one is pretty well selling out.
Yes.
We just had 2 trips come back from, it was a national parks, tour of the national parks. And actually, there were 2 groups that went, and it was a 10-day tour, and everyone says it was absolutely fabulous.
Now, can non-members go to these single trips also? Do they have to
Anybody can come
so
to go on a trip.
you don't have to know a member to do that. You could be a non-member and still go. So that's good. We should probably let the viewers know that.
And I have to say, I went on my first trip. It was just a day trip, but I went to Boston to see Wicked. And it is so nice to just drive to Exit 8, get on a bus, talk to somebody, enjoy yourself, and then the bus lets you off, you have lunch, get back on the bus, great seats in the theater, and then you take the bus home.
And you have multi-day trips also.
We do.
Yeah,
we have trips going to Amish country soon.
I printed that upside down. Don't say.
Huh?
I printed that page upside down.
Oh, did you print that?
I have to turn my book around.
I do. I didn't want to cheat. I have a.
Oh, I have it. I can turn it around.
Okay, so I have I brought lots of trip information with me.
Pennsylvania Dutch Country, Voices in My Head, the Las Vegas show, and that's at Foxwoods. And then you have the Alaska Adventure. What is that? Tell me about the Alaska Adventure.
Which one is that?
It says the Alaska Adventure, July 8th to the 18th.
Oh, so Alaskan Adventure, you said?
Alaska Adventure.
Oh, so obviously if it's July 8th to the 18th, it's obvious it's a tour going to Alaska.
It's a tour. Okay, so then you don't need a passport to go to Alaska. It's still part of the United States. So, and you have trips to Montreal, and you have Shades of Ireland.
And 2015, we have a trip to Portugal that's coming up.
Wow. Oh yeah, sunny Portugal.
Right.
Wow. It just amazes me what you do here. I'm going to turn my book back around. Sorry.
Okay.
So, what do you? Tell me, what are you looking to accomplish in the next year? What's your goal? That you have goals that you want to reach? Are you just on the same course, or?
We're always looking to increase our membership, and probably the thing we also want to do is we want to become really financially sound, and self-sustaining, so that we don't have to struggle for money. Most nonprofits have to struggle for money and do lots of fundraising. And you know, if you live in this area, when spring comes along, everybody's doing fundraisers.
Yes.
So there would be a nice way if we could find other ways to bring in revenue. So we're always looking for partnerships or other ways to bring in revenue that won't, so that the staff won't be doing as much work fundraising.
Right. And what percentage of your income is membership, and what percentage is fundraising, and what percentage would be like the clothing? And can we break that down a little bit, and where most of your dollars come from?
Oh, you mean in terms of how much?
Yep.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember. I haven't. In terms of fundraising, do you mean like in rentals and all of the? We do a number of different ways. Well, we're about 90% self-sustaining, so we raise about 90% of our income. So if you look at that, and part of that comes from grants. So there's so many different sources. I wish I had known. I would have brought my budget with me.
I just thought of that. I didn't even ask one of the things. But so who
trick question.
No, well, I'm sorry. But these are federal grants that you're getting. Are they from the state?
No. So no, they're not from the state either. The grants that we receive, they're either from private foundations.
Oh.
For the city of Nashville, we actually get money through the community development block grant process. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's a lot of federal funding. Well, Scott Brown came to the Senior Center and did a tour, and he told me that there's a lot of federal funding that's designated for senior centers. However, in the state of New Hampshire, it doesn't trickle down to the senior centers. So I'm not sure where exactly that logjam is, but we don't see federal funding, in the state of New Hampshire in the senior centers.
Well, if I meet Scott Brown, I'll ask him to figure that out.
I asked him, I said, if you get elected,
yes,
make sure we get some federal funds.
So what are the most popular programs that you hold there as far as activities go?
All of the exercise programs are all very, very popular. Really? We also, painting, we have crafts, we have quilting, we have knitting. We just had a great class that was an engineer from Sanders came in and for 3 weeks taught people how to use their iPhones. I mean, they are such experts at using an iPhone now. It's unbelievable. We just had a 6 weeks camera course on how to use your digital camera. Yeah. Wow. So we have some really nice things. So I think the very most popular things are all of the exercise classes.
Really? Huh. Mm-hmm. I should have gone to the iPhone class because my daughter just got me an iPhone. I had a Droid, and I'm still trying to figure out how to learn it. And
this guy was
great.
These
young children, they know how they can fly through this stuff. And I cannot text because my fingers are too big. And my wife, when I text her, she goes, "What was that?" Because it doesn't come out the way you want. So the only thing I miss in the iPhone that I have is there's no voice. I have to type it in. So on my old Droid, I could just talk.
Oh, you mean you don't have Siri?
No, I'm in the communication business, but phone. I deal with them all day, so I try not to answer them at night.
All of our seniors even know how to put those little emoticons on now.
Wow.
They know how to do it all.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So how long have you been director?
I've been there for just over 3 years.
3 years. And prior to that, you were telling me before the show, you were in the healthcare industry.
My career was in healthcare. However, I've always been... the senior center has always been pretty close to me. My husband was one of the original incorporators. And so through him, we stayed very involved and very just kind of knowing what was going on at the center over the years and kind of watched the progress as it grew. The first director, Pat Francis, was there for almost 30 years. And my husband had hired her initially when she came on, when the senior center was brand new. So, but it was never something that I did for a living. What I did was I worked in healthcare for hospitals and developed breast centers. That was most of my career.
Yeah, I noticed you also have some aid for the electricity, the ENH Power program.
That's a brand new program. So for people who have ENH Power or people who are thinking of switching to ENH Power, if they if they tell ENH that they can be part of the community giving program that supports the senior center, so a certain percentage of the overall revenue that comes in comes back to the senior
Oh,
center.
that's nice. Maybe we could get Penachuk on board to do something like this.
Yeah,
Something
we
with
actually
that.
do the same thing, a very similar thing with TD Bank.
You do.
So whatever we, whenever we can have a community partnership, we have something coming up that we're doing with Macy's on August 23rd, and so what we're doing is selling passes for $5, and anyone who buys a pass can go to Macy's on that day and purchase sale items, regular priced items at deeply discounted prices. And we get to keep the $5 for the pass. So that's a fundraiser in itself.
Oh, very nice. Now, are you restricted? Like say you mentioned TD Bank. Now, would other banks be able to become involved with that, or are you like restricted to just TD Bank? Not.
I don't think so. I don't think we are.
Yeah, but there's a lot of local banks that have sprouting up credit unions in the area too. So I thought maybe it might be a good avenue to look at to try to gain some more funding. If any of them are watching that work for those banks, please call the director and offer some discounts to her members of the senior senate. So I'm just trying to help you out here. It's always good. You never.
Those are all good ways to bring in a little bit of money. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell the viewers about the senior center?
I think that's about it. Except that it's really a wonderful place. For anybody who doesn't know about the senior center, if you have a relative or anybody who might get some social interaction there, come take a look. It's just amazing. Till I went there and actually became the director, I did not know how many programs that they have. Yeah. And the other thing I want to mention that's really important, I didn't think of before, is that we have 4 full-time employees and 3 part-time employees. And by part-time, I mean very part-time, like 10 hours a week. And when you see all the things that we do, the only way that we can do all of those things is that we have over 150 volunteers. Right. So we have volunteers that run our thrift shop, that are at a reception desk, who are in the coffee talk lounge, who volunteer in the library, who in the membership office, in the trip office. So most of the work that people pay employees to do that we aren't able to do, we have done by our volunteers, which is wonderful.
And it creates, and I'm sure it keeps them active and busy. They enjoy it.
Sure, people like to have purpose, even after they retire.
Yeah, and it creates camaraderie among people, and it keeps them busy. I always believe that, if you're active, you be active the whole life, and it makes you hopefully it gives you a longer lifespan.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and we have volunteers that have wonderful expertise from their careers that carries over and can do great things for us. And so it's really, we are very appreciative of our volunteers.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I will be down there next week to join.
Okay, I'm going to be looking for you.
Okay, I will. If I can get out of work, I may try to go down to the advanced bridge game, and they'll probably yell. Many years ago, I took a class in duplicate bridge, and I didn't know what the card was. I played bridge for a number of years, not duplicate, and I forgot to check off psychic, and I made a mistake. And the woman yelled at me, and so she goes, "Well, you didn't check psychic." And I go, "Well, he's brand new, so give him a break." So I'm a little nervous about going down to that.
Well, that's okay. The ambulances come quickly, so if you have a problem,
there you go.
We can get help in a minute.
There you go. Well, Lila, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And if there's anything that I can do for you in the future, you have my information.
It was good to meet you, and I'll remember that.
Oh, pardon me?
I won't forget that.
I do. I love helping people. So thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure with the director. So thank you for tuning in. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
The Right to Know Public Access Show is aimed at providing knowledge of current issues, policies, and the decision-making process that affects the lives of the citizens of Nashua. My mission is to help the citizens understand city politics, in that they may make informed choices in the city where they live. I wish to inform, educate, and enlighten the people of Nashua because they have the right to know.
preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.